Hey friends! Today we're going to do a flow for tight hamstrings and tight calves, and then I'm also going to throw in some inner groin and inner thigh stretches. I just feel like right now there's either two types of people who are using this quarantine to work out every day and get fit and in shape, or if you're sitting down all day either working or watching TV. Either way, you're tight and you need to stretch. So if you don't have a strap, I'm using a rope today just for the first stretch. If not, you can always just interlace your hands behind the thigh. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, let's get going. Starting in Shavasana, begin by getting comfortable. Let the arms and legs come out wide. I'm just going to take a few moments here to connect to the breath. Maybe close the eyes. Take a moment to notice how deep or shallow your breath is, not forcing it. Feel the breath come in and feel the breath leave. Start to deepen through the inhale, filling all the way up. Open mouth, push the breath out. Maybe bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. So you're not just hearing, but feeling your breath. Bring your awareness to wherever the breath is the strongest. Whether it's feeling the chest and belly rise and fall, or feeling the breath come in and out of the nose. Stay here for a few more rounds of breath. Follow the breath as it comes in, filling up the belly, expanding through the chest, the ribs, the lungs. And then follow the breath as it leaves the body, not letting any inhale or exhale come in and out without your full awareness, without all your attention. On your next inhale, send your right leg up to the sky. You can either interlace your hands behind the back of the right thigh, flex your toes back toward you, reaching with the heel, or you can grab for a rope, a strap, anything to wrap around the heel or the ball mound of the foot. As you inhale, reach the heel to the sky, flex the toes back, and as you exhale, gently pull the thigh a little bit closer to the belly. Or don't, just notice where you feel resistance. Notice where you feel tightness, tension, and send your breath there. Think about dragging that right hip back down into the ground. Notice where you're holding tension in the body. Maybe unclench the jaw, relax the shoulders down. Keep just focusing on the breath. If you need a micro bend on the right knee, you can always do that. But try to reach the heel above the right hip. Maybe bring the left hand to the left hip, keep both hip points down. Stay here for a few more rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, fill all the way up. And as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg over to the right, keeping the right ankle parallel to the right hip. Notice where you feel resistance and then stop. Keep the left hand on the left hip to keep both hip points down. Reach your toes back towards your face. Reach with the heels. Focus on the breath. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And slowly on your next inhale, reach the right leg back up towards the sky. If you have a strap, remove the strap. And then gently replant the right foot next to the left, resting back in Shavasana. Now take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice how the right side of your body feels compared to the left. Maybe the right hip and leg feel a little bit looser, softer on the earth. Whatever you're feeling, just take a moment to notice it. And then come back to the breath. On your next inhale, send the left leg up to the sky. So you can either interlace the hands behind the back of the left thigh, reach your toes back toward your face, soften the shoulders down, or if you have a strap, a rope, anything to wrap around the left foot. Keep the strap in the left hand, right hand to the right hip, and then think about reaching the heel to the sky. You can always have a micro bend on the left knee, but keep thinking about pushing that left hip back down into the ground. Take a deep cleansing inhale, fill all the way up. As you exhale, lower the left leg over to the left. Once you feel resistance, stop where you are. Keep the right hand on the right hip to keep both hip points down. Flex the left toes back towards your face, reaching with your heel. Inhale, fill all the way up and reach the left leg back up towards the sky. Replant the left leg down to meet the right. And just take a moment here, resting in Shavasana, noticing how both hips and legs feel. Maybe they both feel even now, soft, sitting on the earth more comfortably. Take a few rounds of breath. When you're ready, plant both feet down into hips width distance. Take a deep inhale, fill up with breath, and as you exhale, push your low back into the mat. Keep pushing the low back and pelvis down. As you walk your hands towards your knees, you can either stop there, grabbing on the insides of the knees, maybe walk the hands up towards the ankles, grabbing for the shins, or the big toe sides of the feet for happy baby. Just notice whenever you feel that resistance and stop. Don't force anything, grabbing for wherever it feels comfortable for you. Now notice how my low back and pelvis is still on the ground. It's not lifting up. Keep pushing that low back down, making low back to earth connection. And then you can rock from side to side for a nice inner groin and calf stretch. Take a deep belly breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Release your grip. Curl up into a yogi ball. And then beginning to rock from side to side, making your way to all fours. Coming into a neutral tabletop, stack your shoulders on top of the wrists, hips stacked on top of the knees. Spread the fingers wide, gaze is down. As you inhale, extend the right leg back. Now square off the hips, point the pinky toe down, internally rotate the right thigh to face down. Dorsiflex the foot, you could stamp on the back wall. Think about pointing the right hip down, push the ground away evenly. And as you exhale, reach the right leg forward, like you could kick yourself in the face. Try to lift your right heel the height of your hip. Squeeze your right butt cheek, take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower the right foot down. Try planting the pinky toe side of the right foot on the ground. If not, it's okay. And then just shift the hips back and forth. Feeling this nice stretch in the right leg. Slowly send the hips back and then forward. Listen to your breath, reconnect. Have the big toe of the right foot pointing forward. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lower the hips back to the heel. Reach the arms forward, bring the forehead to the mat for a wide-legged child's pose. Feel this nice stretch in the inner right hamstring. Stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. And then very slowly on your next inhale, rise up, step the right foot back to meet the left, preparing for the other side. As you inhale, extend the left leg back. Try to keep the arms straight. Notice if you start to bend into the elbows, point the pinky toe down, dorsiflex the foot, point the left thigh down towards the ground, take a deep inhale, fill up. As you exhale, send the left leg out to the left. Lift the heel the height of the hip. Your arms are straight. Notice if you start to dump weight into the right side. As you inhale, lift that left heel a little bit higher, reach those toes forward. Exhale, plant the left foot down. Big toes facing forward. And then shift the hips back and then forward. Notice wherever you feel the stretch in the left leg. Long, loud breaths. And then on your next exhale, send the hips back to your right heel. Reach the arms forward, forehead to the mat. Notice this nice stretch in the left hamstring. If you can, push the pinky toe side of the left foot into the mat. If not, that's perfectly fine. Just feel the breath. Notice where you feel that tightness, that tension, and send your breath there. This isn't the easiest pose, so make sure you're breathing. On your next inhale, rise back up to a neutral tabletop. Step the left foot in to meet the right. And then bring the knees out as wide as you'd like. Bring the big toes to touch. Send the hips to the heels. Forehead comes to the mat for child's pose. Pulling the palms back towards your knees to lift yourself up. Come into a neutral tabletop. Spread the fingers really wide. Inhale, fill up. As you exhale, flip the toes, lift the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers really wide. Push into the finger pads. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Push the belly back towards your thighs. And then on your next inhale, extend the right leg up high for three-legged dog. Now try pushing the left heel down into the mat. Square off your hips, so point that pinky toe of the right foot down, and then think about reaching the right heel up as you push your belly back towards the thighs. Feel that really nice stretch in the back of the left leg. On your next exhale, just simply switching sides. Step the right foot down, inhale, left leg comes high. Square off the hips, internally rotate the left thigh to face down. Push that right heel down into the mat as you lift the left heel up and push the belly back to the thigh. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the back of the right leg. Then step the left foot back for a downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or flip to a forward fold. Now, forward folds are a really nice stretch for the hamstrings, but make sure the feet are at hips width distance, maybe a little bit wider. And then relax the head and neck down. Drape the chest over the legs. Let the head and neck get really heavy here. Have a pretty generous bend in the knees. Maybe grab for opposite elbows. But bring your awareness into the hamstrings, the calves, and just notice how you feel. Feel the stretch. Release any tension in the neck. Just getting deeper into the pose. On your next exhale, replant the hands down to the earth. On your next inhale, bring the palms to shins for a halfway lift. Create a nice flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, forward fold. Pushing down through the heels. Inhale, root to rise. Squeeze the buns as you reach the arms out and up for a mountain pose. Exhale, palms to your side for Tadasana. Now bring the hands to the hips and step the right foot back, preparing for triangle pose. So the back right foot is parallel to the back of the mat, left foot is facing forward. Now as you bring your arms out to a T, as you inhale, bump your hips back, reach the left arm forward, exhale, triangle pose. Reach the right arm up towards the sky. You can rest the left hand on the shin, or if you have a block, but use your core to hold yourself up. Now as far as the legs go, make sure you're squeezing your thighs, squeezing your buns. Feel that nice stretch and tuck your tailbone down towards your back right heel. As you exhale, look forward, planting your hands around the left foot. Push weight into the left big toe as you inhale, right leg comes high for standing splits. Now it's not about how high you get your leg, it's about keeping your hips squared. Internally rotate this right thigh to face down. Point your pinky toe down towards the ground just like before in three-legged dog. Now this is an asymmetrical forward fold, so relax your head and neck down towards your standing leg. You can always have a micro bend in the left knee. Bumping the right hip bone down towards the ground as you think about reaching the left hip bone towards the sky. If you have blocks or pillows, books, anything, you can bring your hands to them to bring the earth a little bit closer. And then just feel that nice stretch in the back of the left leg. On your next inhale, lift up the chest, plant the right foot back, preparing for pyramid pose. Your feet are on train tracks, so they're not directly behind each other. All 10 toes facing forward, bring your hands to your hips and pull this left hip back in space. As you inhale, lift the chest up, and as you exhale, fall forward with a flat back. Push that back right heel into the ground as hard as you can, and then hands come to either the earth or blocks. Now notice if your left hip is pulling forward, maybe bring your thumb to your left hip and pull it back in space. Feel this really nice stretch in the back line of the left leg. And then you can always bend into the left leg, or come onto the ball out of the back foot. If this isn't possible for you, reconnect to your breath. On your next inhale, lift the chest up. Step the right foot forward to meet the left. Going to prepare for the other side. Feet are at hips width distance. Relax the head and neck down. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms come to shins. Think about creating a nice flat back. Now pull your belly button in so you feel this nice stretch in the back line of the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms come out and up. Squeeze the buns. Exhale, palms are by your side, Tadasana. Then bring the hands to the hips and step the left foot back. Pivot open to the left, back left foot is parallel to the back of the mat, right foot's facing forward. Now bring your arms out like wings. As you inhale, bump the hips back, reach the right arm forward. Exhale, reach the left arm up towards the sky for triangle. Now once again, you can either bring your right hand to the shin, or you can bring it to a block or a book. But reach that left arm up. Think about having a nice long spine, reaching through the crown of your head, and then squeeze your thighs, tuck your tailbone back. On your next exhale, plant the left hand down, framing the right foot. Push way into the right big toe as you inhale, left leg comes high for standing splits. Once again, this is an asymmetrical forward fold. So it's not about how high you get your leg. You're feeling this nice stretch in the back line of the right leg. Reach that right hip bone towards the sky. Bump the left hip bone down. Make sure you're flexing your back toes. Reach that back heel towards the back wall. As you exhale, plant the left foot down, preparing for pyramid pose. Come up to standing. Bring your hands to your hips. All 10 toes are facing forward. Feet are on train tracks. Now pull this right hip back in space. As you inhale, lift the chest up. Push the back left heel down as you hinge forward from the hips. Then bring your hands to blocks or the earth. You can always bend into the front right knee or come onto the ball onto the back foot, whatever feels comfortable. But you want even space from your hips to your ribs on both sides. So pull this right hip back with your right thumb And then just think about melting your chest down towards your right leg. Now listen for the change. On your next inhale, lift the chest up and walk your hands over to the left, preparing for Prasarita. Bring the feet out wide, turn the toes in, heels out. Create a nice flat back so the palms are under the shoulders, and as you inhale, lift up in the chest, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fall forward with a flat back. Now think about pushing the backs of your knees towards the back wall so you have really straight legs here. Then you can either walk the hands behind you or walk them in front for the nice wide-legged down dog and sending the tailbone back. Feel that nice deep stretch. You can grab for opposite ankles. Just do whatever feels good here. Stay here for about 3 more rounds of breath. Match your inhales with your exhales. Recommit. And then as you inhale, bring the palms underneath the shoulders to create that nice flat back. As you exhale, walk your hands forward. So you're framing the right foot, lower the back left knee down. Make sure the left hip is directly above the left knee. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, send the hips back for half splits. Bump this right hip down in line with the left. Now reach your toes back towards your face. Create a nice flat back. If you have books or blocks, bring your hands to those. As you inhale, fill up. As you exhale, lower down with your flat back. Think about dragging this right heel back towards your left knee. Do this nice stretch in the right hamstring. On your next inhale, lift the chest up and bring your hands on the inside of the right foot, preparing for runner's lunge. Slide this back left leg down as much as you feel comfortable. Now toe heel your right foot towards the top corner of the mat. You can always come onto the pinky toe side of the foot, but let the head and neck get really, really heavy here. If you want to come down to blocks or your forearms, you can. Just focus on the breath. If you're not already on your palms, slowly as you inhale, make your way back up to your palms. And we're just going to switch sides here. So send the hips back, stepping the right foot back to meet the left. And then step the left foot forward. You're framing the left foot. Make sure the right hip's directly on top of the right knee. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, send the hips back. Bring the left leg to straight. Bump the left hip down in line with the right. Now think about reaching those toes back towards your face as hard as you can. Think about dragging the left heel back towards your right knee. As you inhale, create your flat back. And then every exhale, either lower down or stay where you are. As you inhale, lift the chest up. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the inside of the left foot. Slide that back right leg down as much as you feel comfortable. This is a nice stretch in the front of the right hip flexor. Then you're also opening up the inner groin and inner thigh of the left leg. Relax the head and neck down. Let it get heavy. Going wherever you feel comfortable. Don't force anything. Stay up on your palms if that's where you feel comfortable. Or maybe come onto the pinky toe side of the left foot to bring some compression out of the hip. Very carefully come back up onto the palms if you haven't already on your next inhale. And then just making your way to a seat, carefully send the hips back. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Swing the legs forward. Preparing for a forward fold. Bring the big toes to touch. You can always sit up on a block or a pillow. You always want the hips to be above the knees when we do a seated forward fold. Sit up nice and tall. As you inhale, arms come out and up. Fill up with breath. As you exhale, think about hinging forward with a flat back, then grab for wherever you feel comfortable, and then relax the head and neck down. You can always have bent knees here. Before you come back up, bring the chin to the chest, and then on the inhale, slowly roll back up, stacking the lower back on top of the hips, then the middle of the back, and the upper back. Then once your shoulders are above your hips, then your head and neck can roll up. Carefully scoot to the top of your mat, plant the feet at a hips-width distance, reach the arms forward, sit up nice and tall. You inhale, fill up. Exhale, slowly lower down onto your back. Bring the soles of the feet to touch, knees out wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. This is a nice inner groin stretch. You can always bring blocks and rest them underneath the legs for support. Allow the knees to just open up naturally. You're not pushing them down or forcing them to open. Use the breath here. Maybe bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Feel the breath come in and feel the breath leave. You're welcome to stay in Supta Baddha Konasana, or you can bring your hands to your knees. Bring the knees to close like a book. And then curl up into a yogi ball. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Hug the knees up and in. Feel this nice stretch in the front of the hip flexors. Inhale, fill up. Open mouth, let it go. One more time. Inhale, fill up with breath. Open mouth, release, Shavasana. Ending our practice how we began. Maybe close your eyes. Notice your body and how you feel. Notice how you feel compared to the beginning of class. Notice your body at stillness. Notice it at rest. Notice every part of you. When you're ready to reawaken the body, wiggle the fingers, the toes. Reach the arms up and overhead for a full body stretch. And then roll onto your favorite side. Hug your knees into your chest. Use your bicep as a pillow. Keeping your eyes closed, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring the palms to the heart center. Push the thumbs into your heart space. Closing in our practice with one unified breath. Take a deep cleansing inhale, fill all the way up. Open mouth, let it go. Bring your palms to your third eye, your center of intuition. It was an honor to guide you through your practice. I bow forward to you in gratitude. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining. And I'm just looking for any comments or suggestions for another class. So if you have any requests, please leave a comment below and have a great day.